Welcome back to the Pro Sports Podcasters on YouTube. My name is Cobe. Most of you know me as Kobe from the podcast. And today I just want to point out why NFL All Day is winning. Okay, so if you follow the channel, you know that I comment on NFL All Day, UFC Strike, fantasy sports, things like that. Covered a little bit of NBA Top Shot, although I don't dabble in too much of that anymore. And it's because, let's be honest, the only one worth following right now is NFL All Day. So, I mean, if you look at the other two, their most recent announcements are you've got crafting on NBA Top Shot, which is, you know, like one of their first crafting challenges was like get 10 different moments, destroy them to get one special moment. John Morant, if I remember correctly. And, I mean, okay, at this point where they have an overabundance of so many moments, I kind of get it, but is it exciting? Not really. It really isn't. I mean, for most people, they're like, whatever. I'll do it anyways because I got nothing else to do with my collection. I know people currently who have a fair amount of money into the input, like into their collection, but are at a point where the values have dropped so significantly that selling it just seems pointless. They're better off to just wait for years maybe and hope that at some point people look back and say, hey, you know what? That was kind of cool back then. Maybe I should get some of these moments. Oh, look, they've gone up in value. Like that's where they're at. UFC Strike, their most recent announcement was the Burn Challenge, which was Burn 10. You heard me correctly, 10 Series 0 Khamzat Chimaev moments. Literally the best moment from Series 0 as far as contender moments go. Burn 10 of those to get one Series 1 Challenger version of the Khamzat Chimaev moment. Burn 10 Series 0 to get one Series 1. So, I mean, that's not that exciting either. If anything, it seems a little counterproductive. It's okay by me. I've got a full contender Series 0 set. If they want to keep burning Series 0 contender moments, I'm cool with that because it just means eventually there'll be so few remaining that the ones I have will be worth more. I'm doing a long-term hold with UFC Strike because, as I've mentioned before, the way their challenges work just isn't that appealing to me and really isn't worth it in the long run. So I have my collections. I'm going to sit on them and see what happens later. And then we've got the most recent occurrence in NFL All Day. And this was, number one, I got to hand it to them. They listened to the community. The community freaked after their last challenge where it was rare moments only. This time they did a tiered challenge. They did both a common version and a rare version, and you could complete both, which is fantastic. It's exactly what the community wants. On top of that, the challenge had meaningful connection to what's going on in the season. I mean, it's off season. So what can you really look at? You can look at people who've been signed. You could look at trades, which is what this challenge was about. It included players that had been traded. You know, significant players have been traded from one team to another in the offseason. You could look at players who signed big contracts, right? Maybe new contracts, new record-breaking contracts could be something they could look at maybe later on this particular season. But there's something I want to point out right now. And the reason I want to point it out is because early on in NBA Top Shot and pretty much throughout its existence, there's been a number of collectors that have pointed out certain instances that looked a bit suspect, right? Like maybe people had insider information and they were specifically buying moments that were going to be involved in the next challenge while they were low in value in order to stockpile and then sell them when the challenge is actually announced to the general community. And there's been a number of situations that have pointed this out on like Reddit forums, on the actual Discord, where it looks a little too good to be true, right? Is it a conspiracy theory? Is it legit? We don't know, but there's been a number of situations that's happened on NBA Top Shot, so much so that there actually is a group that I check in on that watch specific accounts constantly in order to see if they're doing anything kind of out of the ordinary, just completely off the cuff that you wouldn't, moments that you wouldn't suspect them to suddenly start buying So if they do, they buy them as well in order to jump the gun on the insider information they believe that these accounts have. So that's actually a thing. So with the recent announcement by Rob Gronkowski that he's retiring, I thought, you know what? Maybe I should take a look at what other moments are on the platform of NFL All Day from significant players who have retired in this season, and whether or not that might be something I want to invest in. And the first thing that stood out to me was they're all going up. They're all going up. So it's either everyone's thinking the same along the same lines that I am, or somebody knows something. So to go over them with you, I got them listed here. There's only one rare amongst the group, and that's Ali Marpet. And currently, Ali Marpet's at $68. He's gone up 19% in the last week. But more importantly is he's gone up 13% in the last day. That's a significant jump in one day. Significant. For a player that, honestly, it's like he's not a superstar or anything, but he's retired. Then you got Rob Gronkowski, and this is expected. Of course Rob Gronkowski moments are going to go up. He announced his retirement. People got excited. I thought I should probably grab the one Rob Gronkowski moment that was minted before he announced his retirement. So it's gone up. Gronkowski's gone up 32% in the last week, 5% in the last day. Then you've got two Ben Roethlisbergers, one of which is a legendary, and the other is the common. And the common has gone up 30% in the last week, 13% in the last 4 hours. Okay, the last 4 hours has gone up 13%. That's a huge jump. So obviously there's something going on there, because Ben Roethlisberger, the value on his moment has been going down constantly since the release. It's been going down, right? Slowly creeping its way to a floor. Now it's starting to climb its way back up. And the last of which is Andrew Whitworth. And I mean, there's a lot of talk about the Andrew Whitworth moment on the Discord over the last couple of weeks. So over the last week, it's gone up 7%, but it had gone up a bit before that too. There's a lot of people just trying to pump that moment for whatever reason. They're trying to pump it. But these are the ones that you kind of look at if there's the possibility of a challenge coming up that has to do with retired players. So are these people speculating like I may be? Should I be speculating on this? I have the majority of these. I do. So I could just go ahead and buy the one I need and be done with it and wait and see what happens. There is also the possibility that there will be a number of other players retiring in this offseason. There are quite a few players that are free agents right now that are right around the end of their careers, have to make a decision. Do they want to take, say, a 1-year cheap contract? Although, I mean, there's no such thing as a cheap contract in the NFL, but a 1-year discounted contract to kind of prove themselves again, or call it quits at this point because they've already put together a shining career. One of those such players I would say that stands out to me is Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman has had a phenomenal career. Richard Sherman has a Super Bowl ring, right? So, you can't really be too disappointed if you're Richard Sherman if you call it quits at this point. I also know that Richard Sherman's been offered, to do commentary and such by a number of networks. So he's got that to look forward to if he decides he wants to stay close to football. He's currently a free agent. No one's come knocking yet. He played last year on a prove-it deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he could be someone that calls it quits as well. So he may factor into this group, although he's not officially on it yet. And there are a few other players that are like that this could be it for them. This could be the final season, right? Number of players that have dealt with injury throughout their careers who are now at an age where it's like, do I want to keep doing this? I've already made a bucket load of money. So I'm going to put together a list of some of those players. I'm going to put it on the website. I'm going to do an article maybe a little bit later on this week. Put on the website of potential players you may want to target for your collections that could retire in case there's a retirement challenge coming up. But this is something I want to get into, is that NFL Day is making an effort now to have challenges that include everyone, that mean something, that have a purpose for being. They're not just a challenge for challenge sake, right? They introduced the burning of moments, but they introduced it in a good way. They introduced it in a way that benefits the community and entices people to join the community, for new accounts to get involved. When you say to somebody, it's going to be $50 for a pack, you're going to get like 4 moments or 3 or 4 moments. They might be like, oh, that seems a bit stiff. But when you tell them if they absolutely suck, you're not happy about it, you're going to get a $35 Dapper credit to spend on the marketplace to get what you want. It makes it that much more appealing for them to get in. So NFL Day is doing a lot of things right now. A lot of things right. I'm also very excited because a couple of their execs have talked about the fact they're going to probably implement predictive challenges this coming season. So a form of fantasy football basically on their platform. Plus, Own the Moment has announced they're going to have their own fantasy football called Rumble, whatever, on their platform. So I'm amped, man. Everything that's going on so far this offseason is working for me now, right? This summer is going to be by far the time to get into NFL All Day. If you wait for the season to begin, you're going to be spending a lot more in these moments. You're going to be burning yourself, really. You're going to be pissed. Get in now. Join NFL All Day now. Get the moments you want. If you're into fantasy football, this is going to be huge for you. You're going to have an extra avenue to kind of play fantasy a number of different ways available to you. We're going to keep giving you fantasy football information. In this case, NFT challenge information. So subscribe if you haven't. If you want the real inside information, make sure you visit the website, www.prosportspodcasters.com. Scroll to the bottom of our landing page, of the main page. There's a sign up to become a PSP Insider. We send additional tips and organize challenge buys basically within our group of insiders that you don't find out here on the YouTube channel. So that's something, if you're serious about this, you're looking to make money, you want to use this as an investment, definitely become a PSP Insider. And let me know what it is you want to see on the channel. We are going to have a wide receivers sort of ranking and select receivers within certain tiers coming up. We've got that video in the works. That's going to be coming up. We're also going to do quarterbacks that can pop this particular season, both in fantasy and as a potential, say, challenge reward winner for you on NFL All Day. We got a lot coming up. So subscribe, click the notification icon, and follow the Pro Sports Podcasters. Until next time.